Lads, the Belgian Grand Prix is upon us for episode number 12 of the F1 2014 Career Mode Championship for Season 1. As you can see, we're staying with Ferrari for the remainder of the season, and the voting actually was a lot closer than what I thought it was going to be. But either way, here we are in Spa, Friday practice, doing some R&D testing. The upgrade component is an increase in brake responsiveness. Yes, I'm just as hyped as you guys are for that, but that is actually pretty ridiculous. Some of these R&D objectives we get over the course of the season are absolutely pointless. I definitely go for something like more mechanical grip or less tire wear or something like that, something that's actually going to be useful. But either way, we ended up in 10th place after just doing a couple of laps, just doing the bare minimum in terms of that. So here we are, qualifying 1 now. And we've gone for a really low downforce style setup. Hopefully it's going to help out. I've actually played with the suspension as well, just to sort of reduce the wheel spin, give us a little bit more rear grip and cornering ability. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that plays out and how it actually affects the tyre wear over the course of the race. As you can see there, rear spring stiffness, I ended up moving that down to 1 just to give us more rear traction, maybe a little bit less wheel spin as well. And we've actually gone for a brand new engine power unit for this race as well, just to give us that little bit extra in terms of straight line performance. So here we go for qualifying 1, and look at that, it is completely raining out on track. We saw just a few moments ago as we looked out in our garage, there was no rain to be seen, and now this is going to be our only lap. We haven't set a banker yet. We're in 22nd place provisionally. We need to set a time right now, and hopefully there's enough grip in the track for us to at least get ourselves into Q2, because this is very dangerous here. It looks like there's just enough grip for us to sort of grip in with the road and make some kind of traction. We're 4/10 up on Esteban Gutierrez's time in 16th place. That's the cutoff. We need to maintain that 4/10 advantage we have so far. But looking at that, the rain is falling down ever so much as we go through each corner around this track here in Spa. There's just less and less grip that's happening, so it's quickly turning into a very wet track with only a minute left to go. This is going to be our only lap, so what we need to do now here is, push as much as we can without, overstepping the mark. So it's a case of, I guess, going for controlled aggression, if you could say that much. But so far through the middle sector, haven't made any major mistakes until now, just understeering off the road. The front end is just washing away with understeer, just no residual grip left on the track at the moment. There's just enough for us to maintain our temperature in the tyres, but saying that, it's now starting to diminish, especially the front right tyre, so it's getting very dire at the moment. And coming up to the line, it looks like we're not going to make it into Q2. 5 seconds slower than Esteban Gutierrez's time, and that means we've qualified in last place for the Belgian Grand Prix. We may as well park it up because we're not going to improve. And there we go. We've been caught out by the changeable conditions here in Spa, starting in 22nd place. This could be an absolute disaster for us. In terms of the championship, we're only 2 points in front of Hamilton. This is the last thing we needed heading into some of the most important races of the season. And here we are in the pre-race garage. We can see our strategy is a 2-stop, going option, prime. But when the strategy is like this, you could almost take the risk of going for a 1-stop if the tyre wear isn't bad enough, or you could go safe if the tyre wear is a little bit worse than what we're anticipating and go option, prime. So the strategy is definitely up for grabs at the moment. As you can see, we're going with a low downforce setup, 3-1 wings. Braking, it's fairly normal. Balance, I've actually changed it up as well. I've loosened up the rear anti-roll bar just to give us a little bit less understeer, and just trying to preserve those rear tyres over the course of the race. So here we are in Spa, another crucial race of the season. Hopefully we can get off to a good start.
Alright mate, I know we're starting down the order today, but we can still win this. Come on.
Here we go. The race start. That's our target, the 2 Mercedes cars starting on the front row of the grid. We need to pile through this field as quickly as we can to try and attack those 2 cars for the championship, and away we go here in Spa, just going off in lean revs, just trying to reduce that wheel spin, and it looks like it hasn't worked as we get off to a pretty terrible start, going around the outside of all the back markers there. We've moved up into 20th place as a lot of the midfield runners there just going off the track, just having no respect for the track limits there. But either way, we've piled ourselves up into 17th place now. As we go through our Rouge, we had to brake check, or we had to brake there as Maldonado was going slowly, and we dispatch of both the Lotuses now. Now we're trying to get past Gutierrez, as we can see our straight line speed here in the Ferrari, a fresh power unit, and we're just flying past absolutely everyone here on this Kemmel straight, and up the inside of Button there, losing the back end there under brakes. So the Ferrari here under heavy fuel loads isn't quite stable at the moment, as we got the inside of Button and Vern up into 11th place so far. So it's been a very good start here, cutting through half the field in just one lap, and it's not even over yet. We're still got half a sector to go here, as we can see, trying to get past Bottas on the run up to the bus stop. And there we go, up into 10th place. Sergio Perez braking slowly behind his teammate Nico Hulkenberg in the fellow Force India. So at the end of lap 1, we've moved up into 10th place, cutting through over half the field, and coming into turn 1 now, we got the inside of Perez, who was going a bit cautiously into turn 1. So we've taken him for P9, and as we can see, the leaders aren't really getting away too much. They're still within 6 or 7 seconds, so I'd say we're still within a good shout of winning this race if we have the pace to sort of catch them, as we get a really nice run on the exit of our Rouge, and we just fly past Nico Hulkenberg, and the DRS isn't even active yet. That just shows how much speed we have in this car. Look at that, that is ridiculous. A 3 cars in one straight, a double overtake to cap off the end of that Kemmel straight pass, and that's us up in a P6. Lap 8, we can see Daniel Ricciardo, who was leading the Grand Prix. He's made a mistake at the exit of the no-name corner, and that was just completely... It's just come out of nowhere. Just an unforced error, seen Ricciardo. He was setting fastest lap after fastest lap, and then that just came out of nowhere. So that's really going to hurt Red Bull's chances of trying to beat us in the Constructors' Championship. But either way, lap 9, we're trying to get past Rosberg and Vettel now. It's going to be another double overtake here on the Kemmel straight, and now with the help of DRS, we're up into the podium positions with Fernando Alonso in 2nd place. I believe it's Nico Rosberg who's leading the race. Lewis Hamilton got off to a pretty tardy start. He was down in P5 or something like that, so that's the reason why he's struggling at the early phase of this Grand Prix, I believe. But lap 12, we're now coming in for our first pit stop of the day, going on to the prime tyres. I think the original strategy was to go into the options, but I just want to suss out the harder compound tyres just to see which of the 2 compounds is best. I do like to do this throughout most of the races on F1 2014. I just like to suss out the 2 compounds directly after each other just to see which one is the better compound, and if the primes turn out to be pretty sucky, then I'll go to the options for the final stint, and vice versa if the options were a lot better. But either way, lap 13, we've made an unforced error coming into the bus stop, making an inside front lockup, and now Magnussen has gone through. We just had a really tight approach to the final part of the bus stop, and there was no way we were going to keep it on the track there in, 7th place. But either way, lap 14, we've got past Vettel again, who just made his pit stop, and I believe he was saving a bit of fuel at that stage of the race. Lap 16, we finally caught up to our teammate as we go purple up the inside into, is it Lecom? I'm not too sure about some of the corner names on this track, so I apologise about that. But you can see on the replay, just going up the inside of Alonso, really caught me off guard. The fresh power unit is really working wonders here in Spa. I wonder if some of the AI cars haven't switched to a new power unit for this race, because the disparity between the top speeds is absolutely ridiculous this race. But either way, lap 19, we're now getting under pressure from Alonso and Vettel behind. So I need to get a wriggle on here because my tyres are now starting to go off a little bit, and now Alonso has got back in front of us. We can see Vettel trying to go up the inside as we go through Blanchimont, and now coming into the bus stop. We almost give Alonso a tap there. I think I actually brushed his right rear tyre there, just getting a little bit too excited there. Speaking of excited, the rear tyres are getting very excited at this phase of the race, definitely starting to overheat, and that's proving to be a big problem for us is lap 23. We're in the slipstream of Fernando, just trying to burn as much fuel as I can to sort of get the track position back, and we're going up the inside into the bus stop, and we get the move done back into P3. We're back in control in terms of our race here. I've just completely forgotten about the 2 Mercedes cars. They've just bolted off into the distance, so there's no real point in trying to focus on catching them, because they're just about in a class of their own here. As we can see, coming into turn 1, we overshot the corner there, just running a little bit wide, a little bit too hot. Now Alonso is right behind us as we run up to El Rouge now, and he's following in the slipstream there, and it looks like he might try and pass us here on the straight, but he's not quite close enough, so we'll stay in 3rd place for now. It's getting very dicey at this phase of the race. I need to save a little bit of fuel. As you can see, I was -1 on the fuel gauge just a few laps ago, and now lap 29 we're lapping Romain Grosjean, who just sort of holds it on the apex. That doesn't hold us up too much. I've definitely seen worse submissions from the AI in going a lap down, but either way, lap 30 coming in for our final pit stop now, and I've decided to go onto the option tyres because I felt like the primes were a little bit slower in comparison to the options, and the tyre life wasn't too bad in terms of the options, so I thought I'd go with these for a quick 13 lap stint to the end of the race. So in terms of the actual race strategy, it looks like it's going fairly well so far. On the previous lap we had Daniel Ricciardo stopping in for his stop, and as you can see, rejoining on the track, he's managed to jump us thanks to the undercut, but now Ricciardo has the prime tyres on, so he's going to be a little bit slower through this final stint of the race as we just fly past him on the exit of our Rouge. He was harvesting ERS, of course, which makes him a little bit slower, but in saying that, it just the pace that this Ferrari has in this race is absolutely ridiculous. I think I just put it down to the way that I set up the car, just going for a lot less downforce, and that in itself has been a little bit of a curse in many ways, because through the middle sector, this car has been really hard to, I guess, control, and I'm losing a lot of time to the AI through that sector of the lap. So I really have to nail the middle sector in order to stay with the AI if they're in front of me. But in terms of overtaking here on the straights, it's been much easier to sort of negotiate that as well. And also with defending from the AI, it's actually a lot easier now that I've got a lower downforce setup and much faster straight line speed. But meanwhile, we're having a bit of a ding-dong battle here with Sebastian Vettel here. My tyres now have only 7 laps to go, starting to just go off ever so slightly. I've been overexciting the rear tyres, and as you can see, locking up the inside front as well, which doesn't help the tyre wear all too much. But lap 39 going side by side here with Vettel up our Rouge, and this is just absolutely fantastic when you see this happening. But we maintain P3 for now, and Seb just tucks in behind the slipstream with the help of DRS. He actually might have a second bite at the cherry here, going up the inside into Les Combes. Can he get the move done? Yes, he does. Just that little bit more confident under brakes than what I am at this late phase of the race. Tyres starting to go off, and just with the way that the aero is with my setup, it's very uneasy and very unstable, I guess, through medium to high speed corners. So that's something I'll need to work on, possibly for Monza. Even though it's an even lower downforce track, I might have to bump up the front and rear wings a little bit higher just to make it a little bit nicer when we get to Monza through the middle sector. But either way, final lap, we can see Vettel is a few seconds up the road. We actually started to catch him as he had some kind of problems with fuel, and look at that, we just fly right past him. My engineer told me he was literally about to run out of fuel, so he must have gone into hyper fuel saving mode. So that gave us back a podium position. Lewis Hamilton has won the race. Nico Rosberg is going to come home in second to round out a Mercedes 1-2. But after starting in last place, we've come home and finished third.
"58 seconds! You are the worst driver I've ever worked with."
So there we go, a 100% race around Spa. I think it's the first time I've done that on F1 2014 as well. Fairly decent race in the end. 58 seconds behind the 2 Mercedes cars. A little bit disappointing, but when you consider we were pretty much battling throughout the whole of the race, starting in last place and with a not so ideal setup, I think I'll take that. It's just about the maximum of what we probably could have got in this race. So I'll take that. 15 points to add to the championship tally. Of course, that's going to mean we lose the championship lead briefly, but I'd like to hit back better, bigger, stronger, and faster than ever at Monza, hopefully. So that's been this episode for today. If we can hit, say, 2,000 likes on this video once again, I think I'll do another 100% race in Monza as well. So that should be another cracker of a race. Championship standings, though, 8 points behind Lewis Hamilton. As I said before, that's bound to happen when your championship rival wins the race, and we have an okay race, to be honest. But in terms of the constructors, though, Mercedes are now 16 points clear of us in second. So we got some work to do coming into the next couple of races, but I'm very much looking forward to it. Some of the tracks coming up are some of my strongest tracks as well, so I'm really looking forward to taking the fight to Mercedes as well. I hope you guys will enjoy it too. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to see more F1 videos like this in the future. But until the next race in Monza, I'll see you guys next time.